Okay, Janelle is a master carpenter and Tanya is her apprentice. It takes Tanya 18 hours longer to install a subfloor than it would Janelle. Working together, they can do it in 12 hours. How long does each person take? Okay, so we're going to set up a T-chart. Time and rate. Remembering that yesterday, the rate is the time it takes for someone alone to finish an entire job. That's the definition of rate. Janelle and Tanya. Bless you. Okay, the first number I see, it takes Tanya 18 hours longer than Janelle. So how can I take that sentence and write a math expression? Tanya's time. Tanya takes 18 hours longer than Janelle.
That's right.
J plus 18. So under Tanya's rate, J plus 18. So if I'm using J plus 18 for Janelle's rate, I'm going to use J. Because I don't know how long, that's the question, how long does it take each person alone? So Janelle is just J, Tanya's 18 hours longer. When they work alone, they can do the job in 12 hours. So that is the time that they work for. So yesterday, our strategy was the job that you do is the time over your rate. That's the job that Janelle will complete, plus the job that Tanya completes, and her portion plus her portion will all together make the whole job. Okay, so this only is a little bit different than the one we did yesterday. Question now, strategy-wise, should I cross multiply or common denominator drop? Common denominator. So what are all the multipliers that I need in my bottom? J and J plus 18. Okay, once you have your common denominator, you now go to each fraction. Looking at the bottom of this one and the bottom now, what happened to it?
Like, you added a J to 18.
So I would have to times by J plus 18. So 12J plus, what is that one? 216. Okay, next, this fraction. I look at the bottom of it and I look at the new bottom.
You gotta times it by J.
Times it by a J. So that would be 12J. And how do I write a 1 in math? I need the same over the same. So I'm just going to write.
Oh, we just decided not to do it.
Okay, so now that we're concluding, the tops have to just be the same because the bottoms were already the same. All right, I'm going to combine 12J and 12J on that side? So that's okay with you? I put a 24J plus 216. I'm going to do some distribution on that side. J squared plus 18J. This is your big, shining grade 11. Can you move to grade 12 pre-calculus moment?
Okay, then you just do the
What do you do right now?
You do the 18J over the 24J.
Equal 0. That's the big idea. Equal 0.
And then you can simple trinomial.
And then we will simple trinomial. So you need to understand when I'm looking at this, I see two variables. So I'm going to have a 0 on one side, and we're going to try factoring methods. Okay? So I'm going to go everything over there. So I will be subtracting a 24J, and I would be subtracting a 216, right? Those are the things I would do to move it. Okay, so J squared, there's nothing to combine it. There's no other squareds to put it with. We can put those together because they're both J's. So 18 minus 24 makes negative 6J minus 216. And then I think somebody had told me they thought this was going to be a simple trinomial. So that's good. And I need two numbers that multiply to 216. And then they would add to 6. And I'm going to give you a big hint. You're actually looking at the numbers.
2 and 16, 41, 6,
18 times
24,
12
12.
made the 216. Right
Oh
here.
my goodness.
18 times the 12 made 216, and 18 and 12 will make a 6. So 18 times 12 is 216. We need a minus, plus. So J equals 18, J equals negative 12. Okay, there's something wrong with one of those answers.
They can't be 18.
Janelle can't take negative 12 hours to do the job. That would not make sense.
It's 18.
So Janelle takes 18 hours, which means Tanya will take how long to do it?
36.
36. Good. She's 18 hours longer.
Well, that seems like a lot.
Okay.
Isn't Tanya like a apprentice? Yeah. Well, that, you're not getting paid for that. I would not do that. Personally, I think I could do that.
So that problem was me upping your algebra because I made it a quadratic at the end. Okay, number 6. A cyclist rode from town A to B and then went back.
Okay.
Whoops,
You
they went.
started at A.
I sweat. Yeah, I did that wrong. They went from A to B and then back. They did a bike trip like that.
I'm gonna do the other way.
The distance each way, because it's the same distance, right? It's a 3 kilometer. On the trip out there, there was an 8-kilometer-an-hour tailwind. So when I'm biking, there's going to be the speed of my bike, and then what's happening with that tailwind? It makes me go faster So I'm going to add 8 to the speed of my bike. On the return trip, there was a 6 km/h headwind. So the speed of my bike is going to get slowed down by 6. The total riding time was 5 hours. So here's where I'm going to start.
So that would be the T.
So the time there plus the time back equals 5. Does that make sense how I turned that into that math equation? The total riding time, so the time it takes me to go there and then plus the time it comes back, that's 5. So we're solving for the speed of the bike.
Yeah.
Okay, do we remember from yesterday what our little science formula was?
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay. We're going to fill in. We're going to go the distance when we went there. What was the distance? 3. Are you guys okay if I use the letter B for my variable? It's going to be the speed of the bike. Is that okay? I hate using S's because sometimes my writing looks like 5s.
Okay, I'll let it
Hopefully my B's don't look like 6s, but
We'll do an
or
uppercase.
you can use X. You can use whatever letter you want.
Any letter?
Yeah, I'm going to do a B. The speed of the bike, this is on the way there. We already labeled it. On the way there, it was the bike plus 8.
No, W never gets
Okay, on the way back, the distance was 3.
E.
And then the speed of my bike, subtract 6.
So you won't get mad if you use like random letters?
No, you can, if you like, if you're a person that just is always X, go for that. I like my letters to represent, like I used a J and a T last time because that was their names. But in grade 12, pre-calculus provincial exam, I had to deduct people marks if they wrote a random letter and didn't say, let X equal this at the start of their problem.
That seems kind of rude.
No.
Oh yeah, they scrapped them.
Are you gonna, did you let them know that before the test?
No, grade 10.
Because
This is just like
Okay. Now we're at the point. Cross multiply or common denominator drop. Common denominator. I'm going to need a B plus 8 and a B minus 6. Okay, now you're going to ask yourself what changed in your fraction. So this was this, now it's this. B subtract 6, creating 3B minus 18. Second fraction. Looked at it, looked at the new. What was the change? B plus 8. So plus 3B plus 24.
And then you choose same from
Okay, now this isn't 1 this time. It's 5.
Oh.
So I had a 5, but I'm going to need to multiply by a b plus 8 and a b minus 6. But then I have to put the 5 in there yet. Right? So you guys see where it comes from? Like if these all cancel, you get 5.
Yeah, I know, I see it.
Yeah, we just can't forget the 5. Okay. We did a common denominator drop. So on this side together, that's a 6b. And then what else we got? Plus 6. On the right, you are going to run into this for sure somewhere on your test. There's 3 things getting multiplied. We're going to pick 2 of them. Which 2 do you want to do? I personally like to do that first. It does not matter. So I'm going to go 5 bracket. Can you just make that into a trinomial right away? So b squared. What do those 2 add to? What's an 8 and a negative 6?
2.
Plus 2b. And what do they multiply to? Negative 48. Okay? See how I kind of thought the opposite of my factoring? What do they add to? What do they multiply to? Okay, I multiplied 2 things. I'm done. Now I multiply by its 3rd thing. So now I have to still multiply it by 5. So see what I did there? And we're at another shining moment in your career of grade 11 math. What do you do? Equals 0. So I'm going to be subtracting 6b and subtracting 6. Do you notice how when I subtract b, I put it with the other b's? You can't put it together with anything else.
How is it equal to 240?
Oh, I get it.
Because it's negative 6.
Because I had negative and then more negatives. I went lower than that yet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you were in debt, $240, and then you lost $6 more.
I didn't see the negative. You know, I would just stop it.
Okay. Complex factoring. Do you really want to complex factor that? I don't even know this flood number. We don't want to think about that. Okay, so what do we do if we don't want to factor or can't factor? Quadratic formula. Or were you cheating because I wrote that right there? Okay, B equals opposite of my B number, negative 4. Plus minus the square root of B squared is 16. Minus 4 bracket 5 bracket negative 246. All over 2 times 5. Okay, as a discriminant, as in the root part, I'm getting the square root of 4,936. Okay, this is why we were not trying to factor this. Can you get me your two answers? Making sure you're typing it with brackets before you divide. Anybody matching my numbers when you're done and look up?
Yep.
Okay, this is the speed of the biker. So, that does not make sense. And the speed of the bike, what would be the units? Kilometers per hour is the speed of the bike.